Avery and the Rainbow Coyote. A gentle bedtime adventure at the Grand Canyon. Avery was 5 years old and full of questions. She loved snacks with crunchy corners, singing while brushing her teeth, and lining up her stuffed animals in perfect rows before bed. But most of all, Avery loved big things. Big skies, big books, big ice cream scoops. So when her family took a trip to the Grand Canyon, Avery could hardly contain her excitement. On their first morning there, she stood at the edge of the canyon, holding her dad's hand tightly. Her eyes widened as she looked out over the endless stretch of orange, red, and golden cliffs. The air shimmered in the sunlight, and far below, the Colorado River wound like a ribbon made of melted sapphires. "It's like a giant painted bowl," Avery whispered. "How did it get so big?" "The wind, the water, and a whole lot of time," her mom said, kneeling beside her. "Millions of years." Avery blinked. That was more than her fingers and toes combined, many times over. She stepped forward, peering over the railing. The canyon was quiet, peaceful, and maybe, just maybe, watching her back. Later that afternoon, Avery wandered a little ahead on a quiet trail while her parents chatted nearby. She wasn't far, just enough to feel like an explorer. She bent down to pick up a smooth red pebble when something flickered in the corner of her eye. The coyote stood a few steps away, but not just any coyote. This one shimmered with every color Avery had ever seen, and a few she hadn't. Its fur sparkled like morning dew on a rainbow, and its eyes were the color of storm clouds just before rain. The coyote didn't growl or bark, it tilted its head as if waiting. Avery blinked, then rubbed her eyes. "Are you real?" The coyote wagged its fluffy, rainbow-colored tail once, and then, in a blink, it turned and trotted off the trail, into a narrow path hidden by sagebrush and wildflowers. Avery looked back at her parents. They hadn't noticed a thing. She felt the pebble in her hand, still warm from the sun. Without a word, she followed. The trail twisted and turned, dipping deeper into the canyon than any other path Avery had seen. Sunlight filtered through stone arches and glowed golden on the sandstone walls. The rainbow coyote trotted ahead, never too far, always looking back to make sure Avery was still coming. She should have been scared. But something about the coyote's gentle pace and the warm light made her feel safe, like she was meant to be here. Finally, the path opened into a secret clearing, surrounded by tall red rocks shaped like watchful faces. At the center was a pool of water so still, it reflected the sky like a mirror. The coyote sat by the pool and waited. Avery stepped closer. "Where are we?" The coyote finally spoke, not with its mouth, but somehow right into Avery's thoughts. Avery's eyes widened. "Are you magic?" The coyote's voice was calm. "Magic is just something very old and very kind, like this place, and like you." The coyote dipped its paw into the water, and images shimmered on the surface like scenes in a dream. Avery saw animals, deer, rabbits, eagles, and snakes. They looked worried, darting from one place to another. "Why are they scared?" she asked. "Because something is wrong," said the coyote. "The balance is shifting, the wind is restless, and the canyon's heartbeat is slowing." Avery placed her hand gently on the ground. It felt warm and alive, but faint, like a sleepy whisper. "What can I do?" The coyote looked at her with ancient eyes. "Only someone pure of heart and full of wonder can hear the canyon's call. You followed me. That means it chose you." Avery stood up a little taller. "Okay, I'll help." The coyote's tail shimmered. "To fix the balance, you must find the 4 stones of spirit: echo, feather, flame, and root. Each one belongs to a guardian of the canyon." Avery's eyes sparkled. A real quest. "Where do I start?" The pool glowed again, and a breeze whispered in her ear, like a voice made of sky. "Begin with the echo." The coyote led Avery through a narrow path that echoed with every step she took. "Hello!" she shouted, and the canyon replied, "Hello!" But then something curious happened. When Avery sang a little tune, "La la la," the echo came back slightly different. "La la Lou," she giggled. "That's not what I said." A voice from the rock wall replied, "No, but it's more fun this way." A face shimmered in the stone, round cheeks, wide eyes, and a big, silly grin. "I'm the Echo Guardian," said the face, "but I've lost my Echo Stone, and now all the echoes are getting mixed up." Avery scratched her head. "Where'd it go?" "Down in the Giggle Gorge," the Echo Guardian said, pointing below. "But it's tricky. If you laugh too hard down there, you bounce right back out." Avery climbed down carefully and tiptoed through the gorge. Strange, silly sounds surrounded her. Honks, snorts, even a chicken cluck. She kept her giggles quiet, though it was hard. At the end, nestled in a rock shaped like a mouth, was a small silver-blue stone humming gently. She picked it up, and suddenly all the sounds quieted into harmony. The Echo Guardian cheered. "You did it!" With the Echo Stone tucked in her pocket, Avery followed the Rainbow Coyote higher up a cliffside trail. The wind grew cooler and swirled in playful circles around her. Above, a great eagle soared, feathers glittering gold and white. "That's the Sky Guardian," the coyote whispered. "She holds the feather stone." The eagle landed on a tall stone spire and looked down. "Little one," she called, "can you feel the sky?" Avery tilted her face upward. The wind brushed her cheeks like invisible fingers. "I think so." "Good," said the eagle. "To earn my feather, you must fly without wings." Avery blinked. "But I don't have wings." "Ah," the eagle chuckled, "not the kind you think." The coyote nuzzled her gently, and Avery realized trust was the wing. With a deep breath, she ran with the wind, and suddenly she lifted just a little, just enough, as a gust carried her across a narrow ledge. Her feet touched down with a soft thump, and a glowing white feather drifted into her hand. The eagle nodded. "You soar in spirit." Next came the flamestone. The coyote led her into a canyon crack where sunlight barely reached. Deep below, the air grew warm and red light glowed from within the earth. Here lived the Flame Guardian, a grumpy old lizard with scales like embers. "You're not very fiery," he grumbled at Avery. "Can you even handle the heat?" Avery sat by a glowing rock and smiled. "Sometimes I get really mad when people cut in line." The lizard blinked. But then I take a breath, like this." She inhaled deeply, and the glowing rock pulsed brighter. The lizard's eyes sparkled. "You understand fire, not for burning, but for bravery. Take it." He handed her a stone that flickered like a flame trapped in amber. For the final stone, the coyote led Avery to a shaded grove at the canyon's edge. Trees twisted like dancers and moss covered ancient stones. From the largest tree, a soft voice spoke. "I am the Root Guardian," it said. "I've been waiting." Avery reached out and touched the bark. "I'm here." The ground trembled gently, and flowers bloomed around her feet. "Root is not just soil," the voice said. "It is memory, kindness, family." The tree offered her a stone shaped like a seed, warm and pulsing. "You carry your family's love," it whispered. "That is the deepest root of all." With all 4 stones in her hands, Echo, Feather, Flame, and Root, Avery returned to the reflecting pool. The Rainbow Coyote stood waiting. She placed the stones gently in the water. The pool glowed, brighter and brighter, until the whole canyon seemed to breathe with light. Wind danced, water hummed. The stones rose into the air and circled Avery before sinking back into the earth. The canyon's heartbeat was steady again. The animals in the images smiled. The eagle soared. Even the grumpy lizard chuckled in his cave. The coyote bowed. "You've done what many grown hearts could not. Thank you, Avery." The sky was starting to dim when Avery found herself back at the spot where she'd first seen the coyote. Her parents called her name nearby. She looked down. The red pebble she'd picked up was still in her hand, but now it shimmered faintly with rainbow sparkles. A whisper tickled her ear. "Whenever you feel small, remember, you carry magic inside." Avery smiled. She tucked the pebble in her pocket and ran toward her parents, her shoes crunching on the path, her heart full of stars. That night, as the canyon glowed in moonlight, the rainbow coyote watched from a ridge and vanished into the wind. The end time for sleep, little one. Let your dreams carry you on canyon winds and glowing trails, just like Avery.